Okay, one thing I haven't shown is the engine compartment. So the latch for the engine compartment's right here. Pull that. The other thing I forgot to show you is the parking brake. Parking brake's right here on the side of the driver's seat. So you pull the latch for the hood. And we'll come around here. Let's see if I can find this. There we go. And I'm gonna put up the little bar here. Okay, so that pops in there. Okay, so just gonna give you a quick view of the inside here. This is your power steering fluid. Your fluid for your wipers goes in there. Got your engine oil input here. Your dipstick for your engine oil is right there. This looks like an air inlet for like your air conditioning and stuff, I guess. There's a bunch of water in there. Okay, so this is your coolant right here, your coolant fill. This is your brake reservoir right here, and your brake fill. And there's one of the cool thing that's good here is for jump starting. So there's this little cap right here. You pop that little cap right there, and then so you put your positive terminal here for jump starting, and then you put your negative on this little bolt right here. It actually has like your little instructions right here. So that's for jump starting it, because you remember I showed you the battery is like under the foot of the driver right there. So you want to make sure that you know where that is in case of an emergency. But other than that, it's all jammed right underneath there. It's actually, since it's front wheel drive, everything is jammed right up under here in this front section. And see if I can get in there and see. You can actually see that the fans and the radiator right here are down in there. You know, most people aren't interested in what's really under there. That's pretty much it for the engine compartment. And I think I'm going to show you the underneath of the truck next. Okay, I cranked up my van here a little bit to give a look underneath. You see I already have it on the ramps up front to level it, but then I cranked it up. I got a couple of jack stands under there for safety, and I got this on here for safety too. I don't really feel that great about rolling around underneath here, but I think underneath this is actually just as interesting as some of the stuff up above. So let's take a look here. Okay, so let's go up front. First of all, you got your front wheel drive, you got your CV joints there, the suspension. This is the back of the engine, and then of course you've got your engine and transmission there. You get your exhaust. Let's see here. This is your bottom of your battery compartment right here. Your chassis battery. You can see your drain. Your chassis battery there. A little plastic compartment. You can see your brake lines running down the back here. It looks like it's got some shielding here for, this is the gas tank right over top of me here. And then you've got your beginning of your main exhaust muffler right here. Okay, so this is on looking down the passenger side. You got a couple little compartments in here. If you're looking to find a little places to stash things, you could do that. This is a drain right here. This must be for the sink or something like that. Come back down over here. Okay, this is some sort of I'm not sure what the hell this thing is. Right here. That is a damn good question. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it's part of the truck chassis itself, some sort of electronics or something like that for the truck chassis. And then of course this is your gas, where your gas is coming in from the outside right here. Looking back down here, now we're looking back down the truck, so you can see your step right there, and this is the muffler coming across here. And looks like we got our lines. This is our propane tank fill right here, the back of the propane tank, and you can see some of the lines here for the propane tank. This is your tank right here. I think it's a 6-gallon propane tank. So this begins like the stuff for the coach. We'll kind of come around here, and we can see the front of the propane tank here. Okay, so there's your tank inlet and your valve. So you got your relief and your fill. There's like a manual gauge right there. I was wondering where the manual gauge was. Like I said, it's got some sort of electronic thing on it to be able to send sensor up to my my gauge inside. This little latch right here, I'm not sure what that goes to. I'll have to figure that out in a second here. But there's our lines, our propane tank lines coming in here. This one goes down the truck, and everything's grounded. Okay, and there's our propane tank line going over the top here. Okay, and here is that right there. Okay, this is the solenoid, I'm assuming, for the propane tank to shut the propane on and off. Looks like there's another little valve right there. Okay, so moving down. Okay, we got our muffler coming down and coming out the side there. And this is the beginning of our gray tank right here. Good sized gray tank. I think it's 15 gallons or something like that. And that comes across there like that. Now things are going to get a little tight for me because at the back I don't have as much room. This is that slide valve I was telling you about that works. That's what this is the slide valve that works on a cable. You can see the cable coming across there, and so it comes out of the gray tank, hits this slide valve, goes into this box right here, which is where our little pump is, and then you can see the brackets and stuff like that holds it a pump. And then it pumps out. Let's see if I can get a good view of that. It pumps out of this tube here, this black tube here, and then goes back out to the sewage outlet in the back here. But you can see it's just got a regular slide valve, but it's got a cable hook up to it instead. So there's the gray tank. And there's a bunch of shielding here. I mean, there's a ton of shielding from the exhaust and stuff like that in the back of the truck. I mean, there's a bunch of shielding around here. It's pretty good. This I'm not sure what the hell this is. This big must be some sort of something that has to do with the LP tank. But it comes down, and it has a little guard on it, so that I guess you don't hit it, knock it off, or something like that. I'm not sure if you bottom out or something like that, if that's really going to help. But looking back down the back of the coach, you can hear I'm a little leery about getting out underneath that part of the cab, but I guess I will. Just to be careful that I don't knock my jack or my jack stands off. Okay, so this is really cramped under here. You can see our two big AGM batteries here. These are Napa commercial AGM batteries. I'm not sure if it says what size it is on them, but I think they're like 100 a piece, from what I believe. So there's those. Now the battery connections go up and hook up into the power panel of the RV. And then this looks like this must be the brake cable right here for the emergency brakes. And then we got our plumbing coming out from, that's our gray tank, so this must be coming out from the shower. Bunch of different hoses there. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we got our suspension here and our brakes. Okay, now I'm going to go back under the back side because that's as far as I can go in here. The only other thing I want to show you is this is the back side of the water drains. So we got our water drain valves right here. So when you turn these, turn these. Whoops, that was smart, Larry. Water comes out of the different drains. I do have water in my freshwater tank right now, so that's why that came out of there. But you can see, you can see the mess of friggin' pipes and tubes like that are in this thing. Okay, so let's go back down to the back here. Let's see if we can see. Cruising around on my crawler here. Okay, so let's go into the back here. And this is where we got the generator. Okay, so I know that this one has a generator. Some of the ones that are this size have like the under the hood generator, which is just like a big alternator. But this one's got this Cummins 2800 watt generator. so we can zoom right into that stuff. This is packed really tightly under the truck. I think there's only like 6 inches of clearance between the bottom of the generator when it's not on the jacks and the ground, so it's pretty tight. So this is the black tank right here, and this is the outlet for the black tank with its slide valve right here, and then you just pull this cable right there, and that pulls the slide in the black tank, and it just has a natural gravity drain for the black tank. This right here, this is the plumbing that comes down from the gray tank pump. So this hooked up from that pump from the gray tank, and comes over there and pumps that out. I'm not exactly sure what's in this little compartment here, but something's in there. I'm not exactly sure what's in there. It's a good damn question. What's in that little box right here? What's in there? So anyway, so it shows you the Cummins RV QG 2800, and servicing this thing myself is going to be a lot of fun, because man, it is way tight under here. I mean, changing the oil and all that kind of stuff, that is going to be, I'm going to have to get this thing cranked up high to be able to work on this thing, and that is going to be a pain in the ass. It might have to be just one of those things that I actually have somebody service for me. I'm not really crazy about having to take it to an actually RV service center. I'm not really crazy about any of those people, but that might be something that I might have to rely on them servicing instead of me. But anyway, so that's a good view of the underside of the RV. I'm looking for the sensors. Yeah, here are the sensors. Here are the sensors for the black tank. So it's got 3 sensors, one up top there, and then one in the middle, and one at the bottom. And that obviously is good to have those on the outside, that way don't get all mucked up like sensors that are inside can get. So you don't have to worry about getting a false reading from your tank. There's also one after, if you can see that. Let's see if we can zoom into the one that's down there. Okay, so that's the one that's on the gray tank. Back down there. So again, you got those exterior sensors, which is nice. You're not going to have a problem with any of that stuff. The other thing I did forget to show when I was showing the exterior of the RV was this connection right here, which is the exterior propane connection. This is already regulated, so it has a little valve right here, so you can hook up a hose right here and hook it up to a barbecue that does not have a regulator, because this is already going through a regulator. So you'd have to either make your own connection without a regulator, or buy a barbecue that's actually set up to use go without a regulator. But with that set up, I'm actually thinking of creating some sort of long pipe or compartment under here in this section in here to store a really nasty sewer hose or something like that, since I'm not really happy with the sewer hose compartment that comes with the RV. But there's a lot of room under here between the hitch and the black tank, so I think I can put something in there that will work pretty good. But anyway, so that's the underside of the truck, and that was long and arduous.